Welcome back to the Sportsbook Draft, where FanDuel's pick is in.
With the first pick in the 2025 Sportsbook Draft, FanDuel selects the Kentucky Derby.
Brilliant pick, as FanDuel becomes the first sportsbook app where you can bet the Derby.
Just a savvy move by a savvy franchise. New customers get a no-sweat first bet on the Kentucky Derby up to $500.
It's like they know each other.
What do you think Rob's saying to him right now?
Probably something about oats.
Hi everyone, Ashley Mailloux, Mike Beer here with the Daily Racing Forum, looking at a preview for a race this Friday at Churchill Downs. This preview is presented by FanDuel, who will take a look really quick at one of their offers in terms of their racing promotions coming up that you can use this weekend for new customers. It's a no sweat first bet promotion. You can get back up to $500 in racing bonus credits. For more information on that, please visit FanDuel Racing's website under promotions, and just a nice little way to get involved. There's so many races on Friday and Saturday at a variety of tracks, including Churchill, as it's Kentucky Oaks Day on Friday, and then Saturday is Kentucky Derby Day. Another promotion going on is if you need some help, you need the past performances, betting strategies, the player's guide, and the clocker reports. With the DRF Kentucky Derby packages, you can save up to 39%. So to partake in that, please visit shop.drf.com. And Mike, we've done some of the homework for Friday and Saturday, and a race that we've both looked at closely is the one for this preview, race number 7 of 13 on Friday. It's the Grade 1 La Troienne. It's a $1 million race, 1 mile and a 16th on the dirt for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward. And it's just a field of 7, and the main reason being here, you have the 2, Torpedo Anna, who is a sensational 3-year-old, has already showed that she means business now as a 4-year-old.
Yeah, 2 to 5 on the morning line. Way the horse to beat in here. And we'll see. Now third off the layoff. Actually, I guess we'll see if she moves forward as far as at least figures go. Her first 2 starts this year, didn't really have to break a sweat to beat those horses. The waters are going to start getting a little deeper.
And there's some other interesting horses in here. Grade 1 winner, Randomize, off the layoff, making her first start as a 5-year-old mare. And just saw her 3 times last year. She was able to win that Grade 1 event before finishing a disappointing 4th in the personal Ensign. And then who's the winner of that? Raging C, who has post 4 here in La Troienne for Chad Brown, the stablemate, who will be interesting as well. Another one at racing off the layoff. And that's sort of a common theme here for many in this field.
Exactly. Like we already know that as nice a horse as she is, we already know that the 7, Free Like a Girl, is no match for Torpedo Anna. We've seen that in her last 2 starts. Chad Brown's going to send 2 in here fresh off the bench, and these horses have the potential to make it a little closer.
And those ones fresh off the bench, a couple of others racing second time off the bench as well. We'll take a look at the time form US pace projection here for the La Troienne, and you can see Randomized. We talked about it. She's quick. She likely will be the pace setter in here, but the number 1, Dorth Vader, she's not necessarily a need the lead type, but she likes to be close to the action. I think the inside draw maybe forces that hand a little bit more.
Yeah, I expect her to show more speed from the rail this time. Her most recent start there, and her first back off of a very long layoff as well. She got bumped pretty good at the start of that race and couldn't make the lead. So they just sort of sat on the inside and had no chance to catch a heavily favored winner on a slow pace. But as a starting off point, it wasn't bad. She's got the rail here. She's got speed. I expect them to go.
And the late pace flag is attached to the 4, Raging C for Chad Brown. We'll kick it off, though, with the number 1, Dorth Vader. This one out of the George Weaver barn. You mentioned made that first start back off the long layoff, was second in that race at Gulfstream Park. It was going a mile, so a 1-turn mile. And obviously, she's shown some glimpses as you go down the page that she can be a contender at pretty high levels. The question is she the same, 5-year-old mare that she was, say, as a 3-year-old? That remains to be seen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how much room does she still have to improve now as a 5-year-old? Because she is going to have to get faster if she's going to win this race. She's actually run some really good races. I thought she was a really underrated 3-year-old. Unfortunately for her, she didn't really get to race after that. And so, now she's back as a 5-year-old with very limited campaigns going back to 2023. We'll see if she can take a step forward here.
Take a look at the number 2, Torpedo Anna here for Kenny McPeak. And we'll look back at the Apple Blossom Handicap down at Oaklawn Park, a track that is very familiar to her now with a handful of starts there. And as expected, she delivers as the favorite in here. The runner-up is Free Like a Girl, who she'll have to face once again. But she put this one away last time out, the prior start. And I think the debate is she the same as a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old? Does that comparison hold? And I know the figures aren't the 111, the 100 that we saw in the Breeders' Cup Distaff, but I don't think you're going to necessarily see those figures based on who she's beaten, but she's clearly the most talented horse in the division.
She's just really good. I mean, what she already went through, she got 6 or 7 grade ones under her belt already. She's just really good. I understand, wanting to see her come back and run, faster than a 95 or a 93 because she has the potential to do it. She just didn't really have to do that in her first 2 starts. I mean, ultimately, she won those races very, very easily, and now should be set up to move forward if she has to. If these horses are going to make her go faster, and I do think these horses are going to make her go faster, maybe she's fit enough now to do that. And if she shows up here and runs her best race, it's pretty clear that this field probably can't beat her.
The 3 Literate up next for Marty Drexler. This one owned by C2 Racing Stable. She's tried the dirt a handful of times in her career. Now, they tried her in the beginning of the year at Tampa, didn't pan out very well. And then last time out, she technically drops in class, comes out of a stake, but it wasn't like it was an easy spot for her, Mike. I mean, just FYI, Gunsong in there. She was a dominant winner, but I don't know how you assess her now against this level of competition.
I mean, I'll give her the credit she deserves for winning that race last time. I'll also make her do it again in races like this. I understand that on paper, just FYI is a really nice horse, but she did not run well in that spot off the layoff. Right. And she came back and ran even worse in her next start and has since been retired. So, not sure how much credit I really want to give her last time, although it's clearly the best race that she's ever run on dirt.
And we'll move to the number 4 in here, Raging Sea, who we'll take a look at one of her performances. Not last out, not 2 back. We'll go 3 back. And we will take a look at the personal ensign at Saratoga. And this is a key race for a couple of reasons. It does come at the 1 1/8 distance, but I think more importantly, who she's going to be able to run down here in the final stages. Idiomatic, who obviously had a ton of hype behind her based on what we saw in 2023 and then 2024. But also is able to beat Soul of an Angel. And we know the performance that she was able to put in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. Yeah,
good performance there from Raging Sea. You saw her come running late. Idiomatic at the time was the best filly or mare in the country. The takeaway, the main takeaway from that race, though, actually, and why it's an important race as it regards to this one, you have to go back and watch that entire replay because the only reason Raging Sea won that day is because Randomized was also in the race, and she went after Idiomatic right from the start. They dueled a wicked pace in there and set it up for Raging Sea. And you just wonder, is Randomized has the potential to do that again in here because she's wants to be on the lead. She is going to come out of there running. And, does she make things really, really hard on Torpedo Anna early in this race and set it up for her stablemate? We saw in the Breeders' Cup that all things being equal on a fair pace, Raging Sea is just not as good as Torpedo Anna is. She ran fine in there, but she was no match. But with a different pace setup, she could make it closer.
Yeah, and you bring up a great point. I mean, that was her kind of dip back into the grade 1 level. They go 46-3 to the opening half, and obviously speaks a lot to the talent that Idiomatic was on the racetrack. But she got the perfect setup. You look at her races since then, the Beldame. It's a good performance. Not sure what she beat in there, though. And then obviously just second best, as you talked about, being second best to Torpedo Anna in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. So she's 9-2 on the morning line, gets Flavian Pratt once again in the irons. The 5 randomized, you talked about it. I mean, she is the true pace in this field. She's going to go. It depends how quick she's going to go. And I think part of that intrigue is, when you go back to the Ruffian, where she set the pace, the fractions were hot, 23, 46, and 1. It was off the layoff. She might be geared up here first off.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've seen her. Of course, they had to put her away after that personal ensign where she just got dueled into defeat there and basically stopped to a walk in the stretch. So they've given her plenty of time. She's got talent, Ashley. I've never been her biggest fan. And I think the only knock that I really have on her is all of her good races are when she's just left alone on the lead and is allowed to go really moderate fractions. And if you let her get loose on the lead and go slow, she will make you pay. The races where you make her go faster, to me, they're just not quite as good. So we'll see. I still think she's really dangerous in here, though, because she goes to the lead. Torpedo Anna, Brian Hernandez, he's going to have to decide, how soon do I go after this horse? Do I really want to hook up with her and set it up for somebody else? If I wait too long, does she get too far away from me and I can't catch her? I mean, it could be pretty tricky here. If I was more of a fan of randomized, I'd give her a longer look. I don't like her that much.
The 6 Taxed, we could be seeing it 1 1/16 on Friday or potentially 7/8 of a mile on Saturday as she is cross-entered in the Derby City Distaff. And it's an interesting move to kind of look at her from those two angles. But if you look at her here, obviously she's going to need to show that she can stretch out in distance. And it's the record at the distance that I can't really get behind. 0 for 9, right? But, her performance last time out, she had that pace set up in front of her, but was only going 3/4 of a mile. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them maybe go in the other spot. I don't know. It's a tough call. You're either going to shorten up in distance and have potentially 13 other foes, or you have to go against Torpedo Anna here.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if there is a right choice for them. We'll see. I remember liking her for about 5 minutes when she was a 3-year-old. I thought she ran like 1 or 2 good races, and she just hasn't been that good since then.
And we'll round it out with the 7 Free-Legged Girl you mentioned. She's just been second best in her last 2 behind Torpedo Anna. And she's a horse that she sort of just tracks off the pace, and she tries to get the pace setters and hasn't been able to do that so far in 2025, but don't want to discredit her. She is very talented, a very good Louisiana bred who's amassed nearly $2.5 million in purse earnings, but tough for me to see her flipping kind of the tables here on her opponent.
Yeah, really, really cool horse. Easy to root for. Don't want to bet her against this field.
All right, we'll look at our top picks here for the grade 1 La Troienne, and have a feeling, obviously we're not going to get creative on the top spot and really not in the top 4 here. Just a little bit of a mismatch of kind of our order. But for you, underneath, most intriguing appears to be the 5 Randomized, who is the pace player in here.
I just thought she was the key to the race. So, we'll see how it all plays out. I was wondering if we were both going to just side with the favorite. I'm not surprised that we do. I would understand if somebody wanted to take a little shot against Torpedo Anna at a short price and thought this was the spot to do it. I couldn't get that.
Yeah, I couldn't get there either. And, you try to look at who to use underneath. And again, we talked about Raging Sea, the resume. If there's a pace meltdown, she'll be flying late. That's what she needs. The 7 Free-Legged Girl. She hangs in there. She fights. She's just not onto the same level at this point as Torpedo Anna, as we've seen in those last 2. And then Randomized, just don't know what to do. I was disappointed last time out, and now we're just seeing her for the first time as a 5-year-old mare. So similar thoughts here from Mike and I. We both use Torpedo Anna on top. We use the 4, 5, and 7 in some combination underneath in the La Troienne, and talked about it. This is one of 13 races this Friday at Churchill Downs. A great way to get involved with the FanDuel Racing promotion as we take a look at that one more time here. For that no sweat first bet for new customers, you can back up to $500 there in a racing bonus. All the details there on FanDuel Racing on their site under promotion. So great way to get involved and I guess not have to sweat things out. But best of luck to everyone wagering on the La Troienne and the other races this weekend at Churchill.